start your career as an illustrator or 5 ways to get your first jobs. I'm Ellie, and for YouTube's sake, let's say at this point, please comment, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications and all that. Thank you. First way is to work as an assistant for an established illustrator. That's actually one way that I started, and I was working for Sami Saramäki, who is a Finnish well-known illustrator, and I was working for him when he had so much work. He couldn't handle it all by himself, so I was helping him designing and doing research for the illustrations that he then drew. And that was really good gig for me as well, because I learned a lot, and also he was such a nice boss that he wanted my name to be included in an Illustrator list of those books. So that was my first credit. That's amazing. Second tip is reach out to your friends. You have some bands, indie bands, theaters, influencers, bloggers that need some kind of visual theater, album cover. We live in such a visual era that there's all these needs, and it's fun if you have indie band friends that are really like, you really like their stuff and they like your stuff, so then it's a match made in heaven, in rock and roll heaven. 3, work for yourself. So before you have anyone to offer you jobs, asking you to illustrate for them, illustrate for yourself. For example, if you're really interested in writing your, illustrating a kids book, I recommend writing it yourself as well, because you can come up with a story with a there's different techniques for that, and I can share one later here in the comment below if you want to know one kind of technique to come up with a story plot quite fast. And I got that from one workshop I attended, so it's proven to work. I actually used it in my own book, but if you're really not interested in writing your own book, you can also just start illustrating like classics, classic stories, because that's then a really great material for your portfolio, where you can show off that you're really good at this kid lit stuff, and somebody should absolutely hire you for illustrating his book. But it can also be t-shirt prints, like print on demand is such an easy, cost-efficient way to start designing t-shirts, illustrations for t-shirts, and start selling them, for example, through Redbubble or Society6 or even Printful, which I like to use nowadays. Because what happened, for example, for me, I really love Christmas. So for a decade already, I've been illustrating Christmas cards for every season, and I've been selling them in my own online shop. Now this year, I got a call from Paletti, which is one of the biggest card makers in Finland, and they asked if I could sell some of those illustrations I had already done for my shop and also illustrate some new ones. So I got my dream job from doing my dream job. Fourth tip is to have a public portfolio. Well, this is obvious one, but I do recommend having your own domain for your name or your artist's name reserved, but I think like the best place to start off is, if nobody's Googling your name yet, is to have either ArtStation page or Behance page and Instagram, because on those platforms there's already the people who are looking for new talent to hire, so you have a better chance to be found from there. And don't worry about the metrics that much in Instagram, for example, unless you want to be an influencer. If you're just looking for illustration job, you don't need to have like hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of followers. You just need the one person who is hiring to find your work. And the fifth tip is just to approach people at the companies that you would like to work with. For example, if you do a lot of nature topic illustrations, your illustration might work well for Boy Scouts or national parks, for example. Just keep it like when you're sending the email or the message, just keep it personal, and that you really that company and you really want to work with them. Because I don't think that spamming email just with a lot of companies doesn't really do anyone any good. But if you really know the company and you would know that your illustration topic and style would work for them very well, so then let them know. It's a service you're doing them. And then just bonus tips, start before you're ready. Like, we're never ready. We're always learning. So don't worry so much in the beginning if you know it all. You can always learn while you're doing. If you need to know on what format the illustration needs to be, just ask. And if it says like JPEG, 300 GBA, then you just, the resolution. I actually have a video on the size and resolution, so you can check it out if that's not something you know. And then this topic about should you work for free? I think it's always good for ask for the budget and ask for the money, because it does change the, like, then the both, like you and the company or the person you're working with, you value each other, because money is actually, it's not only money, but it's value and it's time. So you know that you are kind of like binding in this contract together. But if it's something that you really, really want to do, like your heart says, like, this is what I want to do. So then maybe in the beginning you can do something for almost free or a very little payment. And also, like when you're working for yourself on your passion projects, for example, doing a book, then that's kind of like, I don't count that as free work, because that's kind of like just investing into your future. If you're aiming to the international illustration market, then it's really good to pick a niche that is very specific, because the more specific you are, the less competition there is. But for example, if you're working in a smaller market, for example, in Finland, there's not that many illustrations, so most of the illustrators are generalists, and they can do lots of different techniques and products. So just figure out where you fit. Do you want to be like a specific, or do you want to be more general? It's up to you in the end. Thank you for tuning in. This was it. I'm Ellie and I'm here. I cannot promise you weekly or even monthly videos, but I will do videos sometimes. I am in Instagram and my handle is Ellie Maanpää, so my full name. And I can put it here or here. And this could be the ending screen, yes? So then I don't really matter what I talk here.